got the master's degree in transformational leadership and coaching back in 2016. And so kind of my journey, like I'm a professional educator in Chicago Public Schools. Pre-K through 8th grade, visual art is what I teach. And when I got into the teaching position, south side of Chicago in Englewood, first time to work with that population, coming from a small farm town in Michigan, totally shift of mindset. Totally unprepared for what I was going to be dealing with. But I had this vision like, okay, I'm going to be like the best teacher in the world. I'm going to figure out how to do this. All these kids are going to love me because I'm going to be the one that gets them. They're going to get me. We're all going to like move forward together. It's going to be so beautiful. But then the reality hit me in the face. Like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. There was in my experience, just so much non-compliance to like basic directives that to me were just like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, why wouldn't you sit in your seat? Why wouldn't you just listen to me when I'm talking? Like, I'm from that generation where children in school would listen to the teacher just because that's the teacher. Why would you question that? So I didn't know how to deal with that. And I tried so many strategies. What I found was happening with me was I was getting exhausted. I didn't have emotional awareness at the time. I kind of felt them, but I didn't really think about it too much. Like now I could look back, okay, I was hurt a lot. I was scared a lot. I didn't want people to know that I didn't know how to handle the classroom. Like everybody's screaming and nobody's doing anything I want, but I was going to stick through it, figure out what's going to solve this problem. So I kept looking. So, I started researching social emotional learning, restorative justice, positive reinforcements, positive culture, started organizing teams of teachers together so we could like start shifting the culture of the school, like really making a lot of these implementations, like exterior implementations, which did have an effect. They did have a positive impact. But at the same time, I was still not where I wanted to be. And so miraculously, I was kind of like just got an email about going to a seminar with Dr. Bob and Judith Wright on relationships. Like, you want to have better relationships? It's like, yes, I do. So I just went down there, blew me away with what they were talking about. Like, I didn't even know there was all this research on relationships and how to create them and what that even means. Talked to Dr. Judith afterwards. And, one of the things for me was like being able to tell my truth to people. And I told Judith that I wasn't telling my truth on how I felt about certain things. And she's like, well, yeah, I think you should probably tell people. And that started kind of a chain reaction of suddenly realizing like, I can actually share what's true for me. And if some people don't jive with that, then they can go on their merry way and I'll be okay. And also starting to realize that a lot of the things that I was doing with the students were a lot of it based on how I was responding to them. And so it kind of started to tip me off like, well, there's probably something going on here that isn't just what can I do for them, but what do I need to do for myself? And that was a huge revelation. And so that actually started the journey when I went to the doctoral program, and I kind of started that journey with that in mind. Like, okay, Dr. Bob gave me this challenge, and actually Dr. Gordon Medlock too, was like looking at all that drama and conflict in the classroom as not something that was happening with the students, but how could I actually look at it as something that I was creating? And as I became more secure within myself, I was able to deal with situations that normally got me hijacked and I couldn't really think straight. I go, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. I can nourish myself emotionally. I can take care of the fear, what's coming up, and not do all these like conflicting, like I starting fights when I get scared. I used to do that. Or I feel hurt and then I wanted to shut down and run away. It's really affecting my ability to be with people. And I had to learn to just be with myself first. So that's really the one track. That's the track of how I developed as a person to be a better educator. And that also contributed to my second track of how I really become more of an effective educator, not just for my students, but I'm always looking to see how I can expand my influence. So how do I reach out to other teachers? How do I be a leader, in my district, Chicago Public Schools? So progress from there to like now, it's like I have a position with a central office as a new teacher mentor. I also design and implement professional development for teachers. I'm one of the go-to teachers in the district for trauma-engaged teaching practices. Like, they're always looking to me to do that. And I'm really not only in my own school that I'm reaching out and having that influence, but teachers across the district and really working with, teacher leaders, other teacher leaders like me, principals and administration in the central office. So I just know that I would not have gotten to this point where I really felt confident in myself, that I can assert myself, I'm present, I'm curious about people. And this has really helped me kind of really expand the capacity for me to be that teacher I've always wanted to be and be the leader I've always wanted to be. And the last thing I want to say about WGU, there's so many cool people. Like, I just love the people. Like, you go out in the world, there's all these people, like, great, they're doing all their things, but you go to WGU and it's all these people that are on this similar track in their own lives, wanting to make a difference, wanting to make a huge impact in the world, maybe want to transform the planet like me, but we're all on this journey together, and we all support each other in that vision. So I think in that and of itself, I mean, that is worth tuition times 20.